Hey guys, Abby here. I wanted to showcase my new Flak build, the Rad Dad. It is a radiation build focusing on his Gamma Burst action skill. You can see a little bit of gameplay here, and then we'll jump right into the build. If you want to see more gameplay, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AbbyHour. I'm streaming Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I will see you there.
Because my pet would get it as well, which would be super nice. Oh god. So now I'm not getting that 65%, but I still get the 17 or the 16% and the 17 for the what's it called? Now see, he died there, but I had my cooldown ready to go, so I just revived him. So that was super nice. Those rocket launcher dudes are so rough on him. But look how fast I'm melting these enemies. Like, it's pretty insane.
Hey guys, Abby here. I wanted to show you guys a new fun build that you can play with Flak in Borderlands 3. I think it's amazing. It's a fun support build, really fun in Mayhem 3 if you're playing co-op and you don't get the minus 50% radiation damage. But I am naming it the Rad Dad because Flak looks like he could be a dad. He's a dad to the pet anyways. But I'm gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible so you guys don't have to sit through a super long video. But I found this weapon the other day while I was just killing stuff in Jacob's estate. Actually dropped from one of the badasses, and this is the Stabby Damned Pestilence. The Pestilence gun. It does radiation damage. It's a Children of the Vault, and it got Anointed Beastmaster. While Gamma Burst is active, gains 65% bonus radiation damage. So I got this weapon and I was like, this makes me really want to create a radiation build based around Flak's Gamma Burst. Now, Gamma Burst, for those of you guys that don't know, is one of Flak's action skills. This one right here. Flak creates a rift at a target location, teleporting their pet through the rift and dealing radiation damage to nearby enemies. Once I got this gun, I was like, okay, Rad Dad is a go. Rad Dad is a go. We're going to be creating a Rad Dad build. So these are my weapons. I've got the Pestilence, I've got the Nemesis, because in True Vault Hunter mode and Mayhem, it's super important to use the proper elements against shields and armor and health. So depending on what type of enemies you are fighting, you want to definitely use fire against health, you want to use shock or radiation against shield, and you want to use corrosive or cryo against armor. Since radiation is good against everything except for armor, I need to supplement my build with some corrosive and or cryo to make sure that I have the proper elements to deal with those enemies and to help my pet kill those enemies with his radiation. So I've got the extended Nemesis. I really like the Nemesis. Super nice gun, 17% chance to cause corrosion. It's got critical hit damage and reload speed. I also use the Companion. This one's got critical hit damage, reload speed, and it's Anointed Beastmaster, which gives me lifesteal after my attack command. Your attack command is where you target your pet onto a single enemy. And then we've also got the Arctic Discipline Chaos. This one also has an action skill, or a anointed perk. Action skill end, weapon status effect, damage and chance are increased by 75% for a short time. So if I really need to cryo them, I can just sit on this weapon when my action skill ends. I can freeze all of them. For my shield, I've got the Contra Red Suit. I feel like this shield is almost a mandatory for this build because I noticed when I had a different shield on and I didn't have 100% resistance to radiation, I noticed that I was taking damage from the explosions of the enemies and from the radiation that I was creating as they were dying and spreading the radiation. So how radiation works, if you guys don't know, is when they're irradiated, if they die while irradiated, they burst and it spreads to the enemies around them. So you want an increased aura, damage, all that stuff, and you just want to create massive clouds of chaos. For my grenade, I've got the Cloning Hex. This guy drops from Katagawa's Ball or Katagawa Jr. And these hex grenades are amazing. You can also use the pipe bomb, which I know everybody knows about, is very broken at the moment. You can use the pipe bomb, which is also radiation, so you even get 65% more radiation damage if you have that anointed weapon. You could use the pipe bomb on bosses. For ad clearing, the Cloning Hex is super great. If you know you're going to be going against enemies that have a lot of armor, you could also switch to the Cryo Hex, which I have a Merv Hex, which is super nice. It's still 48, but I haven't found a better one yet. For the Relic, I've got one that gives me additional pistol damage and additional radiation damage. It also gives me 1600 max shield, which adds to this because this Contra Red Suit shield is really low shield capacity, so I make sure to spec into some health regen and have this plus the Relic gives me a little bit additional, so I think it's a nice little buff there as well. By the way, the Contra Red Suit, or the Red Suit shield in general, is a campaign reward from one of the later campaign missions. For the class mod, I'm using this one right now. However, I have a couple options for you guys if you don't have this one. This one is the Prideful Red Fang. While Gamma Burst is active, Flak's pet taunts all the enemies. It's super nice not having to worry about enemies focusing just you, especially if you're running solo. Even in a group, it is really nice just to have the enemies off of your back while your pet is in Gamma Burst mode, that radiation mode. It also gives me some points to my beast damage and my cooldown rates and things like that. The other class mods that you could use are these guys right here, the friend bot ones. They come in different flavors and your perks are going to change, but I have this one, which is super nice. It gives me plus 25% flat weapon damage, which is great, weapon charge speed, and Jacob's weapon damage. If you want your pet to get an increase in damage by 20%, which the Red Fang mod actually gives you pet damage, that's what the Blue Claw skill is, so it's kind of a wash in terms of pet damage. But when Flak kills an enemy, their pet gains a second wind is super nice in Mayhem 3, because if your pet's dying a lot, then whenever you get a kill, your pet comes right back. So super easy to get your pet back out, because you want your pet out as often as possible because they give you extra damage as well. This one has doll weapon critical hit damage, which I'm using 2 doll weapons, and it also has plus 5 grenade capacity, which is really great for the hex grenades, and it has a shield recharge rate, which I think is important because, like I said, the red suit shield is super low capacity. All right, let's get to the skills. I'm kind of going to go fast through these, but of course you want Gamma Burst slotted. We're gonna go ahead and take 5 points, 3 points, and 5 points all the way across the board in the blue tree. This is the master tree. We get increased damage from our pet. We get increased gun damage and action skill duration, which we definitely want. We want the pet to attack the enemy, and when they do, the first hit is an automatic critical hit that does increased damage plus 75% damage. We also want to take 5 out of 5 into Frenzy. This one is when Flak's pet deals damage, Flak and their pet gain a stack of Frenzy. Each stack of Frenzy increases damage. The stacks decay after a few seconds, 4% per stack, up to 10, which is 40%. Then we're going to take this one, He Bites. When Flak's pet takes damage, the pet returns some of that damage to the attacker. And then we're going to go all the way down here to this one, Mutated Defenses. When Flak's pet is at low health, he gains damage reduction and regenerates health, which is super nice. 40% of max pet health over 6 seconds, which is a lot. And then for our pet, we're actually going to be using the Great Horned Skag. I did some experimentation on this one between the Iridian Skag and the Horned Skag, and the action command on the Iridian Skag sounds nice in theory. It's a singularity, it pulls all enemies together, but I noticed that half the time I wasn't getting it correctly. I would put it on an enemy and then they would be further away from when I told him to go over there, and then he would just singularity on nothing and nothing would get pulled in, so it was really ineffective for me. You guys can try it out if you want this or not. Also, the Iridian Skag gives you 5% damage and 5% fire rate, which The Horn Skag gives you 5% damage, but gives you 10% gun damage. So it's a little better for Flak. This is not just a pet build. This is also a Flak damage build. Flak can do major damage in this mode, especially when they're all irradiated and are taking more damage. For our skill augments, we're going to go with Atomic Aroma. This is when Gamma Burst is active, Flak's pet is surrounded by a radiation aura that constantly damages all nearby enemies. And then also when Flak or Flak's pet kills an enemy while Gamma Burst is active, the duration Gamma Burst is extended and pet damage is increased. So this stacks up to 5 times, so we can get up to 15 seconds additional on top of our Gamma Burst, and per kill we can get up to 50% additional pet damage, which is crazy because we also have 80% here because of my class mod. So next we're going to go over to the green tree. This is the Stalker tree. We're going to get 5 out of 5 here in Furious Attack to get our attack stats up and get that gun damage handling. And then we're going to get 3 out of 3 here in Sick'em. This is the attack command, has lower cooldown and increased damage. I will say that I have been considering removing the 3 points out of here and putting them into health regen because my pet shares the health regen that I get as Flak. It would help keep my pet up and alive because in Mayhem 3, there are times when he gets surrounded, my pet gets surrounded because he's taunting so much and he just gets completely melted. My Gamma Burst isn't ready. I can't revive him right away. So I've been thinking about swapping that. So it's up to you guys if you want to do that or not, because the attack command is kind of meh on all the pets I've encountered anyways. Let me know what you guys think. So I put 1 point into here to basically get down to the rest. And then in here, we're going to go 5 out of 5. I get an additional 2 from my class mod. This is Eager to Impress. Every time Flak gets a kill or the pet gets a kill, you get a reduction in cooldown time for your action skill. 3 out of 3 in Turn, Tail, and Run. This is while you're moving, you regen health and damage reduction. While you're still, you gain gun damage and fire rate. So that's a plus either way. This one is Hidden Machine. We're going to do 5 out of 5. This is when an enemy has no target or is attacking a different target, which is perfect because your pet is going to be taunting them while you're in Gamma Burst. Then you do increased damage against them. The effect is 30%, which is really nice. And then down here on the capstone for the Stalker tree, the power inside Flak and Flak's pet gain increased damage when Flak activates an action skill. When you're at full health, the increased damage is doubled. So you kind of want to activate your Gamma Burst while you're in full health. That is where you're going to get the most damage. Your pet's going to do a lot of damage. You're going to do a lot of damage. And you're also going to get the 65% extra radiation damage, and then also the 16% radiation damage, and also the pistol damage. So it all just stacks on top of each other and makes this a crazy build. All right guys, hopefully I went through that quick enough. I don't want to have another 20-minute video on my hands, but I'm also going to stick some gameplay in here, probably at the beginning, probably at the end. I don't really know. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you tried it out. I really love this radiation just causing extreme chaos and explosions of radiation everywhere. It's super fun. Leave a comment if you tried it or what build you're running, what character you're running, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
If I could make my shots. And see how they're all targeting him too? Like, I don't really have to worry much about these enemies really targeting me very much unless he dies. I was like, whoopsie. No, I don't see my dude. I don't see my harder tank dude. It's alright. I think they nerfed it so that he doesn't always show up. Oh, we need to get this bitch. She's annoying. So we're getting, every time we get a kill, up to 5, we're getting, we gotta get this bitch because she does a lot of damage. And she does a lot of damage to my guy. As you can see, he's really low health. You can see his health in the bottom left there, the bottom left corner. But he gets health regen just like I do. And the dude is talking smack. Get him. And